Welcome to the Student Voice on Air, a radio show written, hosted, edited, and produced by journalism and FTVM media students at Moorpark College. The focus is on current news and issues, along with informative interviews. I'm your host, Steven Suarez, and on this week's edition, we will be featuring Leslie Kivett, Francisco Molina, Andrew Mason, Casey Ahern, and Kayla Colon. You're listening to 101.5 KMCJ Moorpark College Jams. Let's get right on started with Leslie over on Campus News.
Francisco, Andrew.
How's it going?
Welcome to a brand new week, a brand new recording.
Brand new week, brand new Student Voice podcast, guys.
Oh, yeah. So first up on today's news, we have an update on the Chancellor search.
Ooh, what can you tell me about that?
So the Chancellor search is starting this month.
Okay.
Like we said, we reported a couple weeks ago that the new Chancellor, would be getting a rather large raise.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Rather large is
17 to 32%.
right word to use.
Yeah. So up to $75,000. So the search is starting now. The committee for hiring the new chancellor meets for the first time on Friday, December 2nd. And right afterwards is followed by objections from labor unions, teachers, faculty, things like that. The current interim chancellor, Bernard Luskin, says he won't be pursuing this position. So every person who interviews will be brand new.
Wow.
Yeah. Everyone's brand new.
And is everyone welcome to try to get this position, or is it only...
I don't think students
only?
are. I don't think we are allowed to apply for this position.
I think actually there's actually really heavy requirements for that, isn't there?
I would assume with this kind of pay.
I'm not familiar with what the requirements for being chancellor are, but I imagine Joe Schmo off the street doesn't just get to be chancellor. If you guys are unfamiliar with what a chancellor does, they're basically the liaison between the district and the board of directors for the district. The board of directors has most of the overseeing power, but the chancellor makes decisions on the board's behalf. So this person is basically the president of our county of community colleges.
Wow.
So they'll
Very
be
important role then.
very influential, very heavily contested, and we'll follow up that story as it continues. The board is expected to hire early next year, February or March. So next up, on a lighter note, on a more Christmassy note, December 17th and 18th, the zoo will be doing their annual Arctic Lights
So we're
event.
talking Christmas and animals.
Yeah, Christmas and animals. They're even going to have a
Okay.
snow machine.
Ooh.
A snow machine.
There will be snow.
They just think of everything out there.
On the
Think
ground,
of everything.
play with it, throw
That's you.
it at your friends.
Don't throw it at the animals.
animals.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Then
The animals will not be available for throwing snow at. But December 18th and 17th, students get in free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh,
For
so nice
real.
way to relax after those tough finals.
Yeah, that's more what the zoo is going for with this one, is it's more just kind of like students get in free, you can come and relax after finals. Adults and small children still got to pay a small entry fee, $8 for adults, $6 for children, and under 2 years old, free to get in.
I wish I was still in her too.
Yeah, well,
yeah, but you're a student.
you are a student. There you go.
I definitely have a student ID.
Get in for free. Yeah. You probably have to have your 900 number or your student ID. So, if you want to relax after finals, pet some animals, profits for this, and if you bring your family, friends who aren't Moorpark students, will go to the fundraising for the zoo, building expansions for the big cat exhibits.
Which
Besi-
we've talked about before.
We have, yeah.
Besides snow, what else can students expect there?
Snow. Animals and snow.
All right.
But I mean, hey, if you haven't been to the zoo, now is a great time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hot chocolate as well.
Oh, there you go.
Hot chocolate, that's what I'm looking for.
I believe hot chocolate is
Hot
available.
chocolate is the best.
So finally, with finals coming up, maybe even just the holidays in general, family gatherings, maybe you're feeling stressed out.
That Trump uncle going that you have to deal with every
Well, that's
Thanksgiving.
later in the podcast. Let's not get to that now. But if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, the Health Center actually has some coloring pages just available for you to go and de-stress. Allison Barton says that she really likes, well, she says that coloring can ease the stress.
It could be a soothing action.
Yeah. Last night I was in bed drawing for Student Voice, actually. I was drawing a political cartoon.
There you go.
And I started coloring just this random drawing I did a long time ago. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm okay.
I mean, that's a great outlet.
I'm going to go to sleep.
You know, putting pencil to paper is always a great outlet, whether it's drawing,
See,
writing, coloring.
I look at blank white paper and I just see the infinite possibilities of life, and I get too overwhelmed.
Oh my.
But if I have something like structured in front of
Intense.
me, I can color it and be like, oh yeah.
You don't color
this-
outside of the lines?
No,
No?
I'm a very organized person.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's your way of
It's-
coping.
So when I'm given without, like when I don't have structure, I just freak out. I'm like, oh my God, there's too much. I don't know what to do.
You're hitting a little bit close to home there.
Yeah, it's scary, But when I get stressed out, you know what I can do?
What?
I can go coloring.
You can definitely go
And
coloring.
it takes you back to your childhood for a moment there.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, why
Yeah.
don't we color anymore? Do you ever realize that?
Yeah, man.
You get to like middle school and suddenly you're like,
And now we can stay inside the lines.
coloring, that's for kids.
We're
Well-
capable of coloring inside the lines.
You know what I say? I say you're a kid at heart, Francisco.
I think I am. That's a lot of people say about
That's all that
me.
matters, man.
It's important though, like not to go back to serious stuff, but stress is a super big issue, and there's so many ways we can cope with it. And the campus has always been great for providing that. I know I've been here for 4 years now. There's always been something. They ran like pennies, and like it was a penny.
gave out money?
Penny for your thought, a rubber band for some kind of stress thing, and then something else in it.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Stress,
I do remember
stress,
that, yeah.
care kits, or not care kits.
I think they had mints too.
Yeah,
Gum.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
last
the gum.
semester. Yeah.
That was last semester.
Yeah.
I think they've been
I
doing
remember
it
that because of my
forever.
stats final, a bunch of people had them. And they were really freaking out.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I got this rubber band.
This rubber band, yeah, it's going to fix it. It's going
But
to fix all your problems.
The campus is at least always here for us.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
We've got another amazing stress relief opportunity coming up from Teresita Rios, the AS president. Join us once again for Student Voice on Air. Thank you for coming, Teresita.
Thank you for having me.
I love your jacket, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
It's very beautiful. For listeners, it's
try.
blue and has lots of buttons, and they look like bells, and it's very cute. Anyway, Teresita is here to talk to us about final stress, but not
Oh, yeah.
the bad parts of final stress. Perhaps, maybe, what AS will be doing to relieve final stress. Can you tell us what AS is doing?
Yes. Actually, we have two projects. The first one is to give out blue books and scantrons and like pens, all utensils. Utensils. What? Needs for finals.
All the supplies you
Supplies.
Could
There you
possibly
go. I'm illiterate. All the supplies you might need for finals. So that will be in the office all through the week before finals and during finals.
And
And,
then-
yeah, the big thing is
Drum roll,
till the end.
please.
Yeah.
So, Teresita, when is this doggy therapy event?
It will be on Thursday, December 15th from 10 to 2 p.m.
Where?
On the quad.
On the quad. The
quad
quad by
area.
the Student Center?
Yes, outside of the student center.
So how's it
Right
going to
there.
work? Is it going to be like a pen? Is a truck going to pull up and just dump dogs on the
A ball
quad?
pit, but of puppies.
No.
Doggy paddling? Doggy paddling? Yeah, there we go.
No, I think that would hurt them. We'll have them. We'll have
Be
them.
gentle.
Yeah.
Just very gentle hugging.
No. Well, yeah.
6 feet deep in dogs.
Oh, God. No, we'll have the owners of the dogs and the dogs like underneath some easy ups, and students will just come up and like cuddle with them.
So how many dogs we're talking?
And around 6, 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Different kinds of dogs, like huskies,
Yeah.
German shepherds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if there's a husky,
Dang.
I will be here.
Yeah. That's what I'm
I
saying.
can't tell. I don't know.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
what dog are you looking forward to?
I'm hoping there's, the classic golden retriever.
You know what?
Oh, I'm pretty
Me
sure.
too.
I think
Air
there
Bud.
might be. Yeah.
Those are always the most calming dogs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, those classic Air Bud like
Yeah.
golden.
They just look friendly.
retrievers. They do.
Yeah,
They
but-
smile
They're
at
so
you.
calm.
Yeah.
They're always so old. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, but
None of them are like they just get born and they're like 12 already.
Oh wow.
But here at Moorpark,
That's sad.
Is that how dog years works? Like, I don't understand how that works. They're born and they're 12.
That's pretty sad.
but all dogs are welcome. We love them all.
Oh yeah.
No discrimination towards any breed of dog.
And they're specifically therapy dogs.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're trained in the arts of calming you down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And where are these dogs from?
Camarillo. Camarillo.
Specifically, an organization called Love on a Leash, which is a volunteer organization.
Wow.
So I'm guessing, volunteers bring their therapy dogs that they have and offer them.
Yeah, I think that if you're interested, you can sign up through this organization, and they
Oh.
provide like training, and then you.
Yeah, and they
you-
certify your animals. Yeah.
And you
Wow.
go with your animals wherever they're requested.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool.
You can rent a doggy.
It's non-profit, so you can't rent it.
And so just one more time, where is this located on campus?
The student quad outside of the student senate.
Okay.
Senate.
Cool. There's
center.
going to be gazebos and dogs and everything?
Yeah, nice relaxing environment
that's
for
very
everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so everyone who finishes your biology final, you just run right out of the building onto the quad. You're done.
You're done.
It's right there.
Yeah.
The newspaper's right there too. You know, we don't have a final, but I run the newspaper, and that's like a final every
That's its
day.
whole bag of stress.
Yeah. So I'm like, I
There
don't
you
have
go.
class. I don't have class that day, but I'm coming anyway.
Yay. Yes, please do show up.
So if people do show up, if this is popular, do you
this
think we're
is
going to get it
yeah.
next semester?
Definitely.
So show up and support.
So
the
everyone,
dogs.
Yeah.
you have a job to do now.
Yeah.
Like
Save the dog.
your last job was to vote. You know, however that worked out. It didn't. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But now you can go and hug a dog, and that's much
Yeah.
more like you can. That's much more. It's much easier to promote.
A lot more fun.
Yeah. So thank you, Teresita,
Thank
so much
you.
for telling
Thank
us
you for
about
having
therapy.
You're listening to 101.5 KMCJ Moorpark College Jams. I'm Steven Suarez, and this is the Student Voice on Air, a program about what's trending here at Moorpark College. Let's turn over to Andrew and Francisco for the latest updates on Moorpark Raiders campus sports.
Oh, thank you. Those introductions just get more and more
Better
emphatic
every
every time.
Sports is the fun one, man.
All right, guys. Let's start it off with some women's soccer playoff action. Our women's soccer team took on San Diego Miramar in the first round of the playoffs this past weekend. Francisco, what can you tell me about that game?
I only got good news for you guys. We got that W. So our women's soccer team was seeded number 8 in the Triple C AA. Now they got that victory over San Diego and a 2-0 victory, improving their 1-0 postseason record. Their overall record stands at 14 wins, 4 losses, and 4 ties. So the first half of the game, scoreless, not much to talk about.
Both teams empty?
Yeah, 0-0. But second half was all Moorpark, Andrew. In the 65th minute, Ava Mattering scored the first goal to start the lead. Then another goal only 15 minutes later by Madison Murray. Now, I got to say, the player of this game to watch, Ava Mattering, who not only scored but also assisted in the second goal.
Oh, and Ava Mattering, Madison Murray, those names are familiar.
Yeah,
right?
they actually went to the same high school that we went, our alma mater, Newbury Park High School. Now, our women's team will be taking on number 1 seed, Cerritos College, Tuesday, November 22nd. And, I'm expecting an upset.
Yeah, and we'll have full coverage of that game next week. So moving on, we got some basketball news for you guys. Both our men's and women's basketball teams had 3-day, 3-game tournaments this past weekend. We'll start with some men's basketball. They found themselves in 3 very close games, but unfortunately we ended up coming away with a 1-2 record on the tournament. Our first game, it was a close 3-point win versus El Camino. The next day, we suffered a 1-point loss at the hands of Rio Hondo. And to wrap up the tournament, we lost a 97-85 ball game to Maricosta. Like I said, not horrible in the tournament. We went 1-2, definitely room for improvement. We're 2-4 overall now. And we had Coach Jared Link on here, and he knows that the team's got a lot of work to do before season play begins in just a few weeks.
Do these games affect their overall record?
So it does affect the overall record, not league record, of course, but it does affect the record when it comes to playoff seeding in the future. So moving on, slightly better news for our women's basketball team who took on the Saddleback tournament this past weekend, had a bit more success than the men, came away with a champion title from the consolation bracket. Francisco, that's still something to be proud of, right?
Oh, yeah. You always want to leave a tournament on a good note.
Exactly. So we suffered a tough 2-point loss to Irvine Valley in the first game. We bounced back to beat Scottsdale and Santa Barbara City College to grab that consolation bracket title. Our women's finished 2-1 in the tourney and improved to 3-3 overall on the season, guys. But ladies and gentlemen, the big news of this past weekend, our very own Raider football team got the victory at Santa Barbara City College in the very own Beach Bowl on November 19th. It was our first bowl appearance in 6 years for our Raiders. And Francisco, I mean, this was somewhat of a roller coaster season for our guys out there, but we were able to end it on a positive note. It was a blowout win for us, 49-12. Quarterback Cato Brown received Moorpark's Most Outstanding Player Award for the Beach Bowl. And hey, we were able to end the season on a 3-game winning streak and push ourselves over 500 on the season.
Solid.
Finishing at a 6-5 record. But today, in the studio with us, we have Je'nyce Johnson, running back for Moorpark College, who received MVP honors for his 208 yards on 21 carries and 4 touchdown performance on Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us today, Isaiah.
Thank you. How you guys doing?
We're doing
Good,
good.
man.
Man, that is a name. Let me just say, Je'nyce Johnson.
I
That's
like
If
it.
that doesn't say running back, I don't know what does.
So Isaiah, I want to start by talking about your first year here at Moorpark. Before your season started of your first year, you were named offensive team captain. Why do you think that was?
Oh man, I mean, I definitely came up here wanting to come up here and be an immediate impact to this team. Like when these coaches recruited me, they definitely were telling me I had a good opportunity to come up here and start as long as I could come up here and work for that spot. And with that being in my hands, I was just like, man, I definitely can come out here and come get at it and actually start. So I did that, man. I actually set the bar pretty high for this team, and I was actually showing some leadership skills, and the coaches saw that in me, and they just put me up there as a captain, man. I'm glad they made that choice.
Man, that's great. So you came over here from the East. You're from Tennessee, correct?
Yeah.
So what led you to make the decision to come over to Moorpark from Tennessee?
I mean, being in Tennessee, like I definitely like I experienced the world in different areas. Like I went to Germany overseas and stuff, and
Wow.
just like over like some visits and stuff, and just be able to see like the beautiful sceneries and all that stuff. My mom, she was definitely a big part of me in making this decision. She was like, she wanted me to like go out and experience the world some more, and I was just like, she wanted me to get away from home. So I definitely got a hold of Moorpark, looked out here, and came out here for a visit, and I kind of fell in love with the campus and just with the way everything looked and just the whole scenery here. It was just a beautiful place to come.
Now, moving away from home isn't always easy. You know, everyone gets homesick every once in a while. What do you miss most about Tennessee?
Man, what I miss most about Tennessee overall is just my friends and just the activities that we got to do there, man. It was like, like, I mean, compared to over here, I mean, there's definitely like some spots out here that are pretty fun for sure. And I definitely wouldn't trade this spot at all. But in Tennessee, it was just fun to be able to like kayak on the rivers, just to hang out with your friends.
Oh,
it was
I
just
see, man.
Whole different scenery.
Yeah, just, I mean, I grew up there my whole life, and just be able to just finally like leave there and experience somewhere else for the first time in my life for 2 years. It's just, you know, you're definitely going to miss it a little bit.
Those home cooked meals too. Huh?
Yeah, I definitely miss my mom's cooked meals.
All right, Isaiah. So tell me about your nickname, all right? For those who don't know, it's Isaiah Je'nyce Johnson. Tell me a little bit about Juice.
Oh, man, my freshman year, whenever I first came up here for like the summer workouts and all that stuff, I'm not going to lie, I was definitely setting the star, like standards high in terms of just the work ethic. I definitely think I was like the strongest guy on the bench press, strongest guy on the squat, and whenever it came to conditioning too, I was one of the most in shape out there too, man. I just had so much energy. I was just so excited to be out here, man, because it was unbelievable just to be out here from Tennessee, just play some football in California. It's just, from my perspective, it was just a great experience, man. It was
like a dream come true.
Yeah, it was a dream, man. It's just like you can't ask for anything better than that. And I just took that opportunity for the best I could and just.
All right. So the big story of past weekend, the Beach Bowl. You had 208 yards on 21 carries. That's almost 10 yards per carry on average, 4 touchdowns, and got game's MVP. Most of your work was done in the second half. Why were you so hot that half? Like, what happened in the halftime that made you come out with such fire?
Man, I mean, that just describes our team as just us overall, man. At the start of the season, we kind of started off slow, but we kind of like pick it up, you know what I'm saying, better at the end of the season. And we definitely showed sparks of that doing that start of the season. The first half, we would start slow, but we'll come out bigger and stronger in the second half. And all that's part of just the way that we worked in the summer. We definitely work hard as a team. Our strength and conditioning coach, Andy Campbell, he definitely works us out pretty hard, and he has us in pretty top-notch shape. So like whenever it gets late in those deep quarters, it's easy for us to take our advantage on the other teams when they're getting tired.
All right. So your 2 years at Moorpark are done. What's the next move for Isaiah Johnson? Tell me a little bit about your offers, everything that's going on with the football game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. My first FBS offer came in just like 2 weeks ago from San Jose State.
Ooh.
So
Nice.
that's definitely
Spartans? I think Spartans, right?
Yeah, that's definitely
Congrats,
what it is.
man.
I mean, your
Thank you.
teammate Jordan Flack, he also got an offer from San Jose as well.
Yes, he definitely
Wow,
did. So,
all right.
so that's definitely what it's all about right here. Whenever that's the number one goal when you come to junior college football. You definitely want to get
That's
out
right.
and
Yeah.
go
You wanna
to
come out
that
with
biggest
something.
level, and having that first FBS offer at the biggest level of Division I football, that's just a great honor to have. So right now I'm just expanding my options. I plan on graduating in December, so my recruiting process isn't as long as I would like it to be, other than like most recruits, because like since I'm graduating mid-year, so I don't get like the opportunity just to like kind of like wait out in the spring,
Right.
because like
Yeah,
I'm trying to
take
put
your
myself
time.
in a situation to actually get in the spring camp and like try to fight for a starting job immediately as quick as I can. Right now, like I'm definitely planning on heading to San Jose State unless I get a bigger move or something more fitting for me. But right now, I definitely like the way they're looking for me.
Ohio State, they need a new running back.
All right, man. So your chapter here at Moorpark is now completed. What can you take from this school's program that will benefit you in your future, not only as an athlete, but as a person?
Man, as a person, they definitely taught me a lot, man. They truly showed me what it means to have a family to support you, man. Because coming out here by myself, you know what I mean? I literally knew nobody coming out here, man. And to just be a captain on a football team that loves me as much as they do, and man, it's just a great feeling, man. You can truly feel like the family support in this program, and they definitely made me a better person becoming a captain. I had to lead ways, do certain things. I always had to have a certain standard about myself, and they definitely made me more of a man to abide by those rules. And I just can't thank this program enough for the way they prepared me for the rest of my life.
Wow, that's
Love
awesome
it,
to
dude.
hear.
I love it.
Thank you.
And as we wrap up, I got 2 quick questions for you. One, I can already tell you're a very humble person, but what NFL running back do you see in yourself?
Man, definitely me, man. I try to be like a well-rounded back, man. And right now, man, it's crazy. I like to get ahead of myself. I definitely like, man, my favorite backs. I don't know if I'm like, I don't like to, like, you know what I'm saying, talk about it myself. But me, I like to say Le'Veon Bell. He's my favorite guy. I like to be able to try to catch the football. I like to be able to be patient with it. I want to be able to do
Real
everything in the
diverse.
game. Yeah, I want to be able to just be a complete back.
All right, great. And one last question for you. I'm actually transferring to Boston University next spring, next semester. What's some advice that you got for me if you're taking on the East?
Oh, man.
Because I've been West Coast all my life.
Man, I mean, I don't know. It's definitely a little different, but I think you'll be pretty straight out there. It's just, I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, you gotta experience for yourself. It will be a nice experience for you, though. It's always
I
good.
gotta ask you this, man, before we let you go.
Go ahead.
What was your reaction when you ate In-N-Out for the first time, man? What was your reaction? I got to know.
Man, dude, the good story behind that, that's the first meal I had whenever I first came out here, man, on my visit.
Had to be.
My running back coach, Coach Espinosa, he took me out to a little visit to In-N-Out, man, and we were drawing up some plays right there, and like right then and there, I was just like, I can see why these California people love In-N-Out, man. It was a pretty good burger, man. So definitely set the tone for me in California.
Well, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on the Beach Bowl win and the MVP honors.
Thank
man,
you.
wish you
man.
nothing
Thank
but the best, man.
Thank you. You all too.
Have a good one. This is 1015 KMCJ Moorpark College Jams. I'm Steven Suarez, and this is the Student Voice on Air. Here's Casey with entertainment news.
Thanks, Steven. So coming up in December here at Moorpark, we have Holiday Lights, which is pretty much a show featuring classical holiday music and compositions from composers such as Antonio Vivaldi. And Holiday Lights is hosted by the Moorpark College Orchestra and Choir. And Francisco's kind of been covering it for us. Could you tell us a little bit more?
Of course, yeah. So this is a collaboration of the orchestra and the choir. They're going to be working on this together. Each of them are going to have their own little time, and then they're going to have a big performance together. The song that they're highlighting, or piece, would you say, is Gloria by Vivaldi.
Oh, yeah.
And I was talking to James Song, who's director of the orchestra, and he was saying that the difference between this show and the other shows is that this is a little bit more loosened up, you know? Orchestra shows seem to be very like tight and like
Formal.
Yeah, formal.
He's saying that they're going to be wearing their suits, but they're also going to have a little bit of fun.
There's gonna be
That's
lights.
good.
Yeah, I don't know about lights, but
Santa hat.
they're going to be wearing Santa hats.
Ooh.
So they're going to have fun with this performance.
Yeah.
It's a good show to start that holiday spirit.
The only way to remove stuffiness is wear a stupid hat.
And this show will be December 3rd at 7:30 p.m. in the PAC. Tickets range from $8 to $12 at the box office. You can call it 805-378-1485. Again, it's 805-378-1485. And seating is limited, so be sure to buy tickets and wear your Santa hat. Coming outside of Moorpark and into the LA area, we have the LA Auto Show on November 25th through the 27th in downtown LA at the Los Angeles Convention Center.
It's been going on for a little bit longer than that, like the past couple weeks, but that weekend is the last weekend that you can go to it and see it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go every year with my dad. I haven't gotten to go this year yet because of the Student Voice and how much work I do. But I plan on going this weekend. They have a TIE fighter there, if you're super into Star Wars.
I was going to ask, like, how is it new cars or old cars? But
Yeah,
it's
so
like
every
way
year,
new cars.
every year they bring in the new models for that year, what they're going to roll out next year sometimes, and then the really, really conceptual stuff. Like BMW always has this concept car that has like shoots lasers out of it that never comes out. It's never ever comes out.
And is
I
it
think
all brands of car, like
Yeah,
American,
it's
European?
oh yeah, it's Ford, Chrysler, Mini Cooper, European, like Mercedes Benz, like everything's there except for Ferrari doesn't go anymore. They used to
Oh,
go.
wow.
Yeah, they used to go, but they don't go anymore. every once in a while, Aston Martin's there, but not every year. Most of the like exotic cars you're going to find are in the bottom level of the convention center, where you find all the aftermarket stuff. So they'll have like your McLaren P1s and your LaFerraris down there, and they'll be all tricked out.
So people are bringing Ferraris that they've altered themselves, but
Right.
Ferrari won't be there.
But Ferrari themselves usually isn't there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Is there anything you're looking forward to specifically?
I want to see the TIE Fighter. I want to see this vehicle that's not a car.
Okay.
But I'd love to see the new Aston Martin line.
Nice. So if you're a car enthusiast like Leslie, you can
I just
head
like
down.
some cars. Really.
The TIE Fighter mostly,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like
Fighter
Star Wars and I
enthusiast.
like James Bond, so I like Aston Martins.
So head to the LA Convention Center, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Go
The
with your
last
dad.
weekend is November 25th
Or
through
your
the
mom.
27th.
Yeah, or your mom.
And tickets are $5 to $15.
brother.
You can purchase them at
sister.
laautoshow.com.
Cousin. Just a friend you have.
You can also take those cousins, friends, moms, and dads to the Student One Acts, which are coming up, right?
Yep, Student One Acts coming up in December. Actually, the end of November. November 30th is the first day. There's going to be 2 bills. Bill A is going to offer 5 plays. Bill B will have 6. And these go all the way from November 30th through December 9th at various times. You can check it out on the PAC website. And this is the only completely student-run theater performance at Moorpark College. To purchase tickets, you can go to the box office. They're $10. Again, 805-378-1485. And it's 20% off if you buy them pre-sale online. With us to discuss more about this is actress and assistant director in the one act titled Rhiannon. And it's written by Vanessa Lara, but we have Nichole Baffone here with us tonight. So, Nichole, could you tell us a little bit about the play you're in? It's Rhiannon, right? And it's based on the Fleetwood Mac song, you said?
Yeah, that's where the writer Vanessa Lara got the idea to name the show. There's actually Led Zeppelin music throughout.
Oh, that's so
but
cool.
she was listening to the song Rhiannon while she was writing it, so that's where she got the idea to name the character that. So.
Oh, cool. And what's the sort of story of the play?
The story of the play is it's a girl who has had kind of an on-again, off-again relationship with a guy who has another girlfriend, but he goes in between the two of them.
Oh, this isn't good. No, that's bad. No.
Great start to
No.
Everyone, all the people when we were auditioning who read for it, they were like, "Oh my God, this is so real. We've so been in this." So,
Well, what attracted you to this one act specifically?
well, my best friend wrote it, and she just said, "Hey, do you want to help me assistant direct for it?" So I said, "Yeah, of course, sure." And I like it too. I love Led Zeppelin. I love music, so it's a cool one act.
Yeah, it's cool to be like with that like rock music in the back, like. But do you play Rhiannon in the show, or who's your character?
I play Clara, which is like
Okay.
her best friend, where after meeting the guy, he breaks up with her again and then comes and talks to me. And then I try to comfort her, but
Never
at the
saw
same
that
time,
coming.
yeah, I'm sick of his like behavior, so I'm like her sassy friend sidekick thing.
So this is your 4th semester with the Student One Acts, correct?
Yes.
How has this specific semester been different from the previous 3?
Well, the first time I did it, there were around 8 one acts, and then the last time I just did it, there were only 4. And this time we started with 12, but now there's going to be 10. So it just really depends on like how many people submit actual one acts. So it can really differ. I mean, in this case, so now they're shorter, and then you're seeing more.
Oh, that makes sense.
This is an interesting production because it's always so different. Like, the times are different, the days are different, the lengths of each play are different, the people in them are different. So it's never like, it's not like all about jazz. You hear about it every year. It's like, oh, the jazz band is playing. Like, I know. Like, I don't know. It's just like, as a reporter, it's difficult to report on that because it's like, yeah, we know what this is. But one act is always so interesting because everyone's different every year.
And that's the beauty of it too, though, is that they're different every year,
Yeah.
and the students make these. So you have a lot of freedoms when it comes to making decisions
Yeah,
for
the
the actual.
students are in charge of everything from casting to costumes.
What's like the biggest challenge out of like,
What you've been
assistant
involved with,
directing,
yeah.
actress?
Well, this is my first time acting in something. I took an acting class last semester, so that's my only experience with it. I'm more like technical, like behind the scenes. So it's
Yeah, you work
definitely
behind
a
the scenes
challenge.
on Night of the Living Dead, right?
Yes, I was assistant stage manager
Nice.
and prop master for
Nice.
that. Yeah.
Cool. So what'd you do, I guess, technical wise on this. Did you participate technically wise?
Not really, because usually, like last semester, I was the assistant stage manager for that, but
For all of them or for just one?
it's for all of them. Like that's how it
Oh,
works. It's
wow.
not just
That's
for
super
one.
cool.
Yeah. It's just 2 runs.
Sounds like a big job.
Yeah, Mary Jones is the stage manager. Like she always runs it.
So this is your first time acting in anything, not just one acts?
Yeah, this is my first time acting in anything.
Wow. So how have you been mentally preparing for taking on that acting role?
I actually have terrible stage fright, so I'm hoping that this will help me get over that since it's not like a big production. It's just like a small one-act thing, and it's not really a big role. But I mean, my acting class definitely helped. That's what helped me. I don't know. So I think I'll be okay.
Who'd you take acting with?
Kathy Lewis.
Cool.
Cool. Fun class. Fun stories.
And what about acting like makes you nervous? Is it just like like the audience or the like lights?
Yeah, I just hate attention. I don't like people looking at me. So I'm like, oh God, there's
why
a
radio's
bunch
so
of
Thanks for
great.
being on the radio.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, see, it's not as scary because no one's looking at me. So.
Yeah.
So that's why it's always like behind the scenes for you.
Yeah, but I like doing the technical stuff. I like sound also, so I'll be live mixing for hair actually for the
Oh,
music.
nice.
Ooh,
That's
cool.
the
Cool.
spring play?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Nice.
And so going back to these student one acts, so like we said, it's all student run. You've been part of main stage productions with faculty members really involved, and of course you've been part of one acts. Do you think it's more successful or maybe easier to put on a production where the students are in the driver's seat?
It's more of a challenge is what I would
More
say.
of a challenge.
So basically every single day, you have so many actors. You have way more than you'd have like in a main stage production. So every single day, there would be a problem. Like one of the semesters we had a one act where there was one actress. It was like a one-man show, and she was like deathly ill. Like she was like she couldn't come in. So we're
whole
like,
bill.
okay, great. What do we do? So then like we couldn't even have that play.
Jeez.
Oh,
So
man.
it's just like a lot of things go wrong you can't really expect. But Mary Jones, who runs it, she's like amazing and is the most. She's like, okay. She just like takes a breath and then she fixes the problem in like a minute. It's ridiculous.
And so besides your one act, what other one acts do you think you would love to see, and like what are your favorite ones?
I'm really excited to see Grunch, which was written by Nichole St. Pierre.
Grunch?
That one,
Is that-
Grunch, yeah.
I know
And it's about images of women in the media and like how they're portrayed and stuff like that.
I'm really glad
Wow.
I didn't make a joke about its name now. I'm really glad I didn't make a joke.
I
always good
forget.
to have that
I'm not
buffer.
sure where she got the name from, but yeah, that one looks really interesting. I'm really interested to see that one.
So yeah, if you want to check out the Student One acts, well, they're airing from November 30th through December 9th in the PAC, and tickets are available at the box office for $10 and 20% if bought online. Nichole, thank you
when is yours,
so much
Nicole?
for being.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, are you Bill A or
Bill
Bill
Yeah,
B?
Bill A or B. Bill B.
I am Bill B.
That's
Bill B.
important.
All right.
Nice. So check her out. Bill B. Rhiannon, and that airs is November 30th, December 2nd, and 8th and 10th at 7:30. And there's also a matinee on December 7th at 1:30 p.m. That's for Bill B. Bill A. is 1st, 3rd, and 7th and 9th of December, 7:30. Matinee on November 30th at 1 p.m. So go on and see
Feel free
Rhiannon
to pause this recording and
Nichole.
go back and re-listen to that as many times as you need.
Thank you so much for joining us, Nicole. Good luck with the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Break a leg. This is 1015 KMCJ, Moorpark College Jams. I'm Steven Suarez, and this is the Student Voice on Air. Coming up is the roundtable discussion, and today we're talking about the post-election forum.
Yeah, Stephen. So last week on campus, President Sanchez, as well as a few other faculty members here on campus, held the post-election forum, which I, in the newsroom, have kind of been jokingly referring to as the post-election grief counseling. But today we have a couple special guests here to talk about post-election feelings, concerns, maybe hopes. We'll see what happens. First up is Je'nyce Johnson, the BSU president and actually head of entertainment news at KMCJ.
Hi, how are you? Thank you
Hello.
for having me.
Thank you for coming. And special guest, longtime listeners of the Student Voice on Air might remember her.
Really long time.
Longtime listeners, Kayla Colon.
You guys make me sound so old.
She-
I've only been gone a semester. Calm down.
Look,
So
look,
aged.
that is like everything's different now. The newsroom's a totally different place.
It is. Coming back is definitely really weird. But
Kayla was our student life editor, and we brought her back on because she's very outspoken.
to say the least.
So we brought her on to share some opinions. So hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
So how do we feel, 2.5 weeks out?
Post-election.
Well, I mean, I can definitely tell you what it was like off campus in another state. We had everyone gathering in all of our common areas down in the lobby, just waiting for election results to be posted. One of the more entertaining things, I'll kind of start off on a little bit brighter of a note. This guy in my dorm dressed in completely red, white, and blue suit, very, very patriotic.
Yes.
He had the pants and the Star-Spangled Banner tie kind of thing going on.
Okay.
It was a very interesting sight, definitely to see during the election results.
Well, I can tell you that the anticipation of the outcome was overwhelming for me and most of the people that I spoke with. I am totally pissed off about the outcome of the election, with the popular vote for Clinton exceeding by 1.5 million.
Yeah, AP.
And the person that we have in office, I'm just going to say it, and I'm going to be frank. This is my opinion, not the radio stations or anybody else's.
Views expressed by Je'nyce Johnson
He is
on her own.
not my president. I'm just saying. So we'll just start there. I don't think that he represents all of us as a whole. I think that he definitely has his own agenda, and he's putting people in place to help him coast through the responsibilities of being, a political leader. So, yeah.
Yeah, the cabinet appointments have been frightening, to
say
the least.
the
I'm almost worried more about the
You know
cabinet
what?
than I am about
I'm
the
just like,
president-elect.
bring it. I'm like, bring it, because the people don't want you there. I mean, there's protests going on for a reason. If his intentions were good, we would have felt that on the onset. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to give someone else the mic because I don't want to immediately jump into
Yeah.
how angry I am.
Well, here's the thing. I'm very, I like to say agnostic about politics.
Yeah.
Because, agnostic's I don't really,
I can-
I'm not really sure.
I would stand in there too.
Until this year, I was in your camp.
same.
No, I'm still definitely in his camp for
And
right now.
I'm a little bewildered by what happened, but what's been the most interesting thing, regardless of your opinion on whether or not Trump or Clinton would have been better, is how he's not flipping so much. I mean, he's almost flipping a lot of the policies he was talking about during his campaign, which I was predicting from the beginning because historically he is a Democrat.
Right.
You can't fake 20 some odd years of being a very big Democrat and supporter of the Clintons.
Well, it was an old quote of his. He said, if I ran for president, this
He'd
was
be
20
Republican.
years ago, it would be for Republican
Yep.
because he feels that he could make that vote easier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and he did.
He did.
He's a very smart man. No
Yeah.
one saw it coming.
No one saw it. I was.
Well, the second the Red Sox, I'm not sorry, the Red Sox, the Cubs, the second the Cubs won the World Series, I was
all
like,
bets were off.
all bets are off.
Hoverboards were coming. DeLoreans were going back in time.
Those shoes came out, so
Yeah.
the Nike shoes.
Free power and water for everyone. Hell froze over.
But it is definitely a tense situation, though. Very dividing subject.
I remember driving home the night of the election, and I was listening to our local NPR station, KPCC, and I was just like, every state that got called, it was like the predictable ones. I was like, yeah, it's going to plan. It's going to plan. And then Florida. Just kept creeping up. Just kept creeping up. And by the time I got home and I had food and I'd had a couple beers, I was watching Florida get called. And I was watching states just fall and start blushing. And I was like, what is going on? I couldn't believe it. So by 10 o'clock, I'm just curled up in a ball, hugging myself on my couch.
I just
Terrified.
went to sleep. I did.
Hoping to wake up, maybe.
There was no sleeping on campus. Everyone was up that night. I mean, literally, people were running up and down the
Facebook.
the street.
Was the best.
Nope, I went off social media completely. I was.
Oh, I was tweeting
I
a
did
storm.
too.
No, I was not.
I was tweeting up a storm.
The most upsetting part for me, at least, was not necessarily who won. Either way, people were going to be upset, and I was acknowledging that. And either way, I was going to be upset. There was issues with both candidates that I had.
Yeah.
The problem that I was having with the people that were taking social media by storm. I mean, there was a lot of very, very negative comments being made, a lot of assumptions, a lot of people who weren't educated about the election. The reason I didn't talk politics with a lot of people was because I didn't do the research to talk about it. I had not a lot of stuff to say, but people were so willing to say so many negative comments and so many negative things, not only about the candidates, but about people who were voting for these candidates.
People they've been friends with their whole lives.
Yep, that was the disappointing part
Speaking-
for me.
I'm sorry. Speaking of voting, only 45% of registered voters.
That's what's terrifying.
Voted.
Is people who claim
You
like,
know,
oh,
so
well,
and
Trump supporters are the majority now.
Right.
Like,
And I
not
ran
even
into so many
popular are
people.
they?
Yeah.
I was unaware of that.
I ran into
that's
so many
interesting.
people,
Yeah.
that you know, and seriously, if you didn't vote, you have nothing to say. You know, you just threw it away. You gave it away, and that's why we're having this discussion now, because people that, you know, or they went, you know, for someone else because they didn't like the candidates that.
They went for like a third party. Or
Yeah,
write-in.
definitely.
I was
yeah.
kind of upset by all the people who were saying, "Oh, you're throwing away your vote by voting for a third party," and I was like, "No, they're not. They're just extremely
voting.
disappointed
Yeah.
with the candidates for the main parties, and they're trying to say something. And you know what? If that's how they choose to say it through their vote of a third party, then you know what? More power to them. That's it's no one's else's concern how someone else is going to vote. I mean, there's no need to sit here and be slashing them on social media for it."
And I don't know, I haven't looked at the statistics, but I don't assume that the people who did vote third party, like Gary Johnson, if you added up those votes and put them onto the tack of whoever lost or won the election, in any past years, if that would make a substantial mark on the actual turnout.
It would have on the night of the election. On the night of the election, Gary Johnson's popular vote numbers would have pushed Clinton over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that's night of the election. Like, things are very different now.
And that's given that all Gary Johnson's members
That's
go to
given that
Clinton.
all of them voted for Clinton. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't like Trump at all. I'm just going to say that out loud. Like, I hate him.
Period.
And I hate his cabinet appointments so far. But I'm not a Clinton supporter. Like, I didn't vote for Clinton because I wanted Clinton as president. I voted for Clinton because I didn't want Trump as president. And, like, that was my biggest concern. I was actually really sad that I didn't get to be on the first election discussion podcast we had, because I wanted to talk to the political science professor and say, like, my biggest fear is that people are going to vote this year out of fear. People are going to vote because they just are scared.
Yep.
But it turns out more people
And that
didn't
actually
vote.
goes both
Yeah.
ways. I mean, obviously, most people in the room are very liberal and are very upset with the result of the outcome, but there are people who are Trump supporters who just feel justified in the opposite direction, that, a vote for Trump, even if you don't like him, was a vote not for Hillary.
I can, yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, it's hard from our perspective to view that, but
It's
it is
very
important to
hard from my
recognize that
perspective.
there are obviously the popular vote was so close. 1 million people it is a substantial amount when you're looking at the popular vote, but it's not that many people in the wide scope of the nation.
I think.
So, I mean, if you can understand what I'm saying, like, it's important to be aware that people have the opposite. It's the same opinion, but it's the exact opposite.
Sure. And I make no claim that, my views at all represent KMCJ, Moorpark College, the Student Voice, anyone other than Leslie Kivett, who's talking right now.
I was actually watching a basketball game after the election, right? So I was like, I'm just gonna get away from politics for a while. And there was he's a big sports analyst, or whatever you want to give him the title. His name's Je'nyce Johnson, and he talked about the politics. He talked about the election, and he was saying that he didn't vote for neither, right? Because he wanted to be at peace with who he voted for. But he said, before we start hating on those who voted, and before we start protesting or whatever, what can we do as citizens of this country to make our situation better instead of getting? So I think that's also, like, whether you voted for whoever you voted for, we have to learn to respect the person's vote. But also, like, what can we do as citizens to improve our situation as a
That was
country?
something that I wrote about after the election, was that more than anything, I think this election has been revealing of the divide. Like, there is a tremendous divide that maybe we knew existed, but didn't know the scope of how large it is. The fact that there was enough movement in this country to, again, this is the views of Leslie Kivett, to elect a man and just completely forgive him or ignore or not care about the way he conducted himself on the campaign trail, the promises he made, the action he took against reporters, against people at his rallies. Like, the fact that people saw him do that and said, yeah, that doesn't bother me, or yeah, that's not a deal breaker, that blows my mind. And I think the fact that that sort of mentality exists is proof enough that what we need right now is a way to heal the divide. But I think first comes outrage before you can get to, like, first comes outrage, but it gets to.
So what is the next
consolement.
step then?
Honestly, I think at this point, we need to have a little bit of faith in the system. I mean, he isn't in office yet. And I think that's a really huge point that, people need to understand. Because, I mean, you said it yourself earlier that a lot of his policies are changing just from him winning the election. And so at this point, I think it's a matter of patience that we need to have. Because until we see what he's going to do, We don't know. We really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, for all we know, he's going to change these policies that he ran on. And yeah, that's going to be a terrible thing for the people who voted for him because of those policies. But we need to have faith that the system is set up a way it is that, he's not going to have too much power, that, these terrible things are not going to happen, that things are going to work out the way they should at the end of the day. We need to just be patient and see what is going to happen. We don't know yet.
I hope so. I read an article in New York Times that he was trying to get his son-in-law in a high office position in the White House.
That's a whole other topic.
I heard he
that we
was
need to talk
saying
about.
neutral. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that he was saying neutral on that. Is just the circulating reports that were going around. I ultimately feel that people are just, going to come together and continue to voice our opinions and voice their dislikes and keep stressing what it is that they want to see done. And I mean, like I said earlier, if you don't have a voice, you don't have a voice. Definitely get out and vote and make a difference. Protest, make it a peaceful protest. And, flash mob, we're thinking about doing that. And, just stand up for what you believe in. And, I mean, it's not necessary to persecute the man, but he kind of put his foot in his mouth throughout the duration of the election process.
I see people all the time saying, give him a chance, but I give him a chance.
Good on him.
I give him several chances.
Yeah.
I'm good on Trump.
I'm good. That's me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the country's still going to be here.
No, the country's still going to be here.
Yeah.
And we're all still here. And
We're still
people
going to be
who-
in school.
Yeah.
We help each other out. I mean, there's
Exactly.
a lot of people in the Latino community that I've talked to.
Yeah.
It's not us against
They're
them. It's
terrified,
us against
so,
the
yeah.
divide.
Yeah,
So
no,
just
I understand
be
that
there
too.
for each other.
Yeah.
That makes me so sad. I mean, speaking of the day afterwards, people were just coming up to me, hugging me. Like I, was like the poster of so we're all so victimized by this decision. And I mean, it was just a solemn mood throughout campus the next day.
Yeah.
I personally wore an Obama t-shirt and I had Malcolm X on one side of him and Martin on the other. Yes, I was making a statement.
You can make it. I can hide being LGBT, but
I can't hide being black.
Thank you so much for being here with us, Je'nyce, and thanks
Thank
for
you.
Roundtable Discussion.
And Kayla.
I appreciate
And
it.
Kayla.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm here too.
Alrighty.
Voice
Thank you so much.
alumni.
This is awesome.
Thank you to Leslie Kivett, Francisco Molina, Andrew Mason, and Casey Ahern, and special guest Kayla Colon for keeping us informed. This has been the Student Voice on Air, a radio show and podcast written, hosted, edited, and produced by journalism and FTVM media students at Moorpark College. For additional news and information, please log on to the Student Voice webpage at studentvoiceonline.com. That's studentvoiceonline.com. I'm Steven Suarez. Thanks for listening and being informed. This is 1015 KMCJ, Moorpark College.